Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Goofy Wise.
Yo, it's motivational speaker. What's up?
Yes, and we are back with the Mindful Blerd Podcast. Today, we have an amazing episode. We just saw Sinners come out. Man, it was an amazing film. I'm excited to talk about it. We are so excited, we didn't even talk about the quote of the week today. And we're going to get right into it. And to get into the conversation, we brought our guest, André White, the host of the Redacted History Podcast, y'all. In the flesh. Welcome.
Yeah.
Can I
curse? Can I curse?
Nigga, say whatever you
okay.
want.
Yeah, real. I was gonna say real nigga shit. That's all I wanted to say.
There we go. You know, we have a quote of the day, nigga. That's the quote of the day.
There it is.
Real nigga shit. All right.
Because that's what we talk about today.
For sure. So
shit.
let's hop right in, bro. No, don't worry about structure. What immediately, like, what were your first impressions upon seeing this movie, Sinners, by Ryan Coogler?
Oh shit. Honestly, I think the first thing I said to my wife when we left the theater is Black cinema is back. Real cinema is back. You know what I'm saying? Like real cinema is back. I feel like, we just left a period of, I guess, the last 8 years in cinema and movies have been so interesting because like I feel like there's always that thing that brings us together. We were all there when Black Panther came out in 2018. I think. Avengers
up in the movie theaters.
I'm just thinking about thinking about times that cinema has like brought everybody together, whether it's the whole population, just Black people, whatever. I think I was 2 when Titanic dropped. So I can't speak to that. But Black Panther 2018, Black Panther 2018, I think Infinity War or whatever, like 2019, Get Out. But this was that, we had, COVID happened and everybody was like, will movie theaters survive or whatever? And here we are. And I'm so impressed, honestly, by the not only did we get a fantastic movie by Black people, FUBU, you know what I'm saying, as far as buying, but we got a movie with a real rollout, you know what I'm saying? Like there was interviews, Ryan Coogler, got us all hit to what 70 millimeter film is, the importance of, I never really gave a damn about seeing a movie in IMAX before and seeing it in IMAX as opposed to seeing it in the regular theater and whatnot. So, the movie, its second weekend just happened and it outperformed its first weekend. And I'm seeing it for a third time in 2 days. I never do that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll wait for it to come to streaming or whatever. Or if people are still like, there are still think pieces happening on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and whatever. And they're not like me personally. It is that deep. That is my motto.
Sure.
It's always fucking that deep. I'm the person with my homeboys, my frat brothers, my wife, my dad, especially. My dad is a Gen X ass nigga. With them, they could spill a fucking glass of wine in the kitchen. And I would be like, well, we was, where wine comes from the antebellum period. And, in 1863, we couldn't drink wine. So it's I'm really that person. I'm really that person, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I drop off the counter. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I run a fucking history podcast. So, like, I am that fucking person. So it's like, it's been so beautiful to see, like, not only are we talking about the movie, but like it's all like meaningful, like where you know what I'm saying, it's all like, damn, this happened and this relates to that and this historical context. So I just I when I left the theater, I said real cinema is back. This is how you drop something that we're going to be talking about 5, 6, 7 years from now. The movie held up on its second viewing. I'm excited as hell. I'm going with 2 people on Friday who haven't seen it yet. And I'm really excited. I'm going with one of my homegirls. She's a crier. I'm excited to see her cry. I'm excited to, I'm excited to hear the soundtrack again and really just be immersed in it, man. So those are my initial thoughts. And yeah, man, real fucking cinema is back, and I'm happy to be alive.
Real nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think you said so much that like, first of all, your energy about the film, it's so hard to be around a bunch of niggas. As a nigga who's it's that deep nigga, it's so hard to be around a bunch of it's not that deep niggas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten away from like, community, no more school, no more college. Like I've gotten away from like my core friend group. So like sometimes it just be me in our room, and I'm like, nigga, this makes this. I'm connecting like, all the dots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I knew the movie was impressive and was going to. I knew it was going to generate dialogue when one of my brothers, one of my best friends, shout out Q. Q saw the movie before me, and I fucking hate when he sees movies before me because he's gonna come in the group. I love Q to death. Q, I'll kill for you, but shut the fuck up because every time this nigga's a fucking contrarian. He's a fucking contrarian. Like Jesus could come back, and this nigga be like, well, he took too fucking long. This nigga came in the group chat and was like, yo. Hey man, I'm seeing everybody on Twitter. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. This was great. Cinema's back. This nigga come in the group chat. I think we was about to go see it in like 2 hours. He's like, "Hey man, it was like a 6.5, but I'm gonna be generous and give it a 7." And I said, "Okay, maybe." I said, "Okay, maybe he's right." I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know. And I went to see it, and he was like, "There's a part in the movie, bro, where you gonna be like, all right, bro, like this shit is stupid." And I sat through the movie my entire first viewing, and I was waiting for that moment. I was waiting for me to get that 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 experience, and it never came. And so then when I got home from the movie, me and him sat on FaceTime for 30 minutes talking about it, and I changed his mind because all of his qualms on the movie were fucking stupid. Like,
what were some of his qualms? What were some of his qualms?
His qualms were all I said, yo, send me a voice memo, and when I get out the movie theater, I'm gonna tell you and hit send on the voice memo, and I'm gonna listen to it. And it was like 3 minutes long, and they all fucking sucked. His qualms were, well, bro, why he ain't tell us where the Native Americans came from? Why they ain't show back up?
No.
Why he ain't give us more backstory on Remick, the main vampire? Why he ain't do this and do this and do this? And I said, nigga, bro, that was a 2-hour fucking movie. It was 2 hours and 17 minutes. You, if it was 3 hours, you would have fucking complained that. And I said, bro, like he gave us enough, bro. Like we all walked away knowing, oh, the vampire was Irish. Now you might need to go home and do some Googles to not everybody. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everybody needs to understand the implications of an Irish vampire and the relationship that, white Anglo-Saxon Americans had. They treated, white people, white Americans, Irish people, Italian people, black people. Like, I don't expect everybody to get that. And so I explained that to him. And then I explained like the Native, like, bro, we got everything we needed from the Native Americans. That's how great of a director Ryan Coogler is. You know what I'm saying? Like they were there. We understand. And then I explained to him, I was like, bro, you can't be spoon-fed everything, nigga. And I'm like, bro, the Native Americans who already have like a minuscule population due to everything that's already happened to them in the 1800s and 1700s, etc. Why would they put themselves further in harm's way to, what I'm saying? They got, like, I imagine, like, if it's 100 white people in that town, it's probably 7 Native Americans. They already are an endangered population. They know what's good. They peeked in the house, saw it was a Klan member, so they're already doing way more than they should have.
Way more.
He said, may God be with you, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, and I think that was, Ryan Coogler, like that. I think that he gave us enough. It was a 2-hour movie. You want it to be 3 hours? You want it to be 3.5 hours? Because then we're probably going to get into the territory where we're watering down some things. You know what I'm saying? And I explained all that to him. And then if you go on the Spotify account of the movie, there are Easter eggs that explains where Remick came from. Like how, a boat came over from Boston, or a boat came into the Boston Harbor from Ireland in 1911, and a witness saw a white man. Yeah, bro. It's a whole new. It's 3 news articles. One of them is a boat came in from Ireland in Boston sometime in 1911. Everybody on the ship was found dead and massacred. And then a witness saw a shirtless white man running through the night. Let's do our 1 + 1 = 2, nigga. And then there was another one. There was another article that explained, hey, bank robberies shock Chicago. Two masked men that look alike robbed bank.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Let's do some fucking Googles, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I explained to him, like, yo, it makes sense why Stack and Smoke were in Chicago circa 1920 something. They fought in World War I. All the 300,000 black men fought in World War I, black American men, and they come back home in 1919, are hung in their fucking uniforms, are fucking beat, robbed, killed for showing. They come back. The whole point was, yo, we're Americans. We want to fucking fight in this war and prove that we deserve to be here. I don't blame them for that. Do what you. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, you know, but I get it. Like, you know, I don't get it because I wasn't there, but I understand why they want to do that. They come back home. They're hung in their uniforms. It was called a phenomenon called the Red Summer of 1919. Race riots swept the fucking nation for a year, and that culminated. People talk about. You know, we talk about Tulsa. Tulsa was in May of 1920. We're actually coming up on the 104-year anniversary of Tulsa next month. And people talk about Tulsa, but they don't talk about the 2 years that preceded Tulsa, because there were race riots in Chicago, Oakland, all throughout the South, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, New York, that swept the South. And so we're in the period that's literally juxtaposed to the Great Migration. So it makes so much sense as Smoke and Stack get back home, and they're like, fuck, we're back in Mississippi. What the fuck? People and all the, you know, the Europeans and stuff over there, they love the niggas. They love the Harlem Hellfighters and the people that were fighting over there, and they come back and they're oh fuck, we're 4th class citizens again. So it makes sense. There was a direct pipeline from black Mississippians up to black Chicagoans. Like, I got family, half my family's in Chicago, North Carolina, and Ohio. They all came from Yeah, like my family is in Chicago. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Go Cavs, LeBron's the GOAT. And my family, literally, I'm both sides, chattel slavery, literally both sides. Wow. And they came to Ohio and Chicago from Arkansas, Mississippi, North Carolina, and Louisiana. So my great granddad literally took the family from Arkansas to Cleveland, Ohio, and Chicago, Illinois. So I was telling Q on the phone, I was like, yo, makes so much sense. Ryan Coogler told us everything we needed to know in the first 15 minutes of the movie. We understand. Oh, the Smokestack brothers got fucking money. So there was probably up to some nefarious things, because you know where the fuck is a black man getting hella money in 1932 Mississippi? Let's be honest. And fuck it, they did what they had to do. But it makes sense why they were in Chicago. Mississippi to Chicago was like a direct pipeline in the early to mid, like the Great Migration literally went from 1910 to, it's disputed when it ended, 1950, 60, 1970, but it makes sense. Like all of it made sense. And I said, Q, you got a college education, my boy. Let's use it. Let's critically think. Let's critically think. Like, I appreciate that Ryan Coogler didn't spoon feed us. You know what I'm saying? He let us come to our own conclusions.
I think that's so important for movies to do, because like for you to walk out a movie and have all the answers, like what did it give you to think about? Exactly. The movie didn't connect for real. You know what I'm saying? It makes me think about when niggas is like, or Netflix was like, they want to create TV shows where motherfuckers don't have to look up from their phone to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, is that where we're headed, motherfucker? Like, no, we gotta spell everything out. Movies are meant to illuminate. You know what I mean? And connect the past and the future and various things. You know. And you bring up something that I think is very interesting, and this is why I was especially excited to have you on the podcast, because this nigga just doing casual history lore drops. It's like shit that I learned, but I don't have it at the forefront of my mind. But I remember the first time that I learned about like how many race riots there were throughout history. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can draw a line from fucking slavery all the way to Black Lives Matter. Nigga, this shit never stopped, bro. You know what I'm saying? The shit never stopped. And it's, you know, and that's why I think it's so important for us to be able to talk about this, because I think that, you know, Smoke and Stack's, you know, contributions to the military during that time didn't grant them acceptance into American society. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It was never built for us. You know, it was never built to accept us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I just want to ask, I want to give everybody an opportunity, since there's so much here that Ryan Coogler put in the show, what would you feel like is your favorite like nugget that you got out the movie? You know what I mean? And I'll let David go first, because I think
go ahead.
Going like a stepchild right now.
Guys, I'm listening, okay? I'm listening, and my face is autistic.
I
can't help it, okay, guys? Like I'm really bad for podcasting because I have a very like autistic listening face, and I realize that every time I watch, I'm just like silent in the corner. But I'm very engaged, I promise. I think for me, my biggest takeaway was the exploration of freedom, especially freedom in regards to the church. And how
I was so excited for that, to talk to you about that, but continue, please.
You know what I mean? I think the setup in the beginning is really interesting because in the opening, I'm about to go see it the third time too. In the opening, it's so fucking good. They talk about how music not only opens you up to, you know, connecting with like your ancestors and, you know, connecting deeply to spirituality, but also to like some dark things. And the first time I really did kind of connect that a little more literally, but when we look at the sort of freedom or what happens when we sort of experience freedom, I think it really is just the freedom for those things to show up. Like when we're in a sort of state of attachment, non-freedom, when you're locked down, you kind of have this way where, you know, you're essentially trying to control your life so that only good things happen. There's a lot of attachment. That's a lot of what the church is supposed to, or is quote unquote trying to bring you, this kind of energy of like, I know the right way. I'm going to give you the answers. Everything's going to be okay. You do this thing, good things will happen. In the next life, maybe not this one, but like, you know, Jesus will save you. And we'll avoid all the bad shit. And I think really one of the most powerful aspects of this film was like, hey man, look, you know, when you experience freedom, you know, it don't mean that everything's going to be like great. Like you open yourself up to the opportunity to shit. I think one of the most profound things that one of my teachers tells me all the time is like, people don't suffer like bad shit necessarily. People, as much as they suffer the good stuff, when you are free of a lot of the, like, you know, you give somebody $1 million and they're not any different. They're like just more of all of the bad shit is still there. And so for me, you know, the freedom that's being explored throughout Sinners is like getting that freedom. Like I'm giving you the money, I'm giving you the ability, I'm giving you all the shit to be able to do what you want to do. What are you going to do with it from that point on? And I really do think Ryan Coogler, man, I mean, God, hit the nail on the head with the sort of vampire extractive aspect of the church and how it creates a very sort of deeply attached space of like, you know, I'm trying to Christians.
Don't hold back, motherfucker.
You know, a lot of what Christianity ended up, you know, becoming was the sort of reflection of this sort of the hyper ego, this reflection of an attachment to, moralistic right and wrong that essentially was upholding this idea of white supremacy, upholding these ideas of like, it's the opportunity for those things of materialistic shenanigans. And I love that Ryan Coogler is showing you that, like, you know, art is freedom, like art and music and all of these things are so integral to giving our people the freedom to experience life. You know, for me, one of the biggest things that I took away was just the meditative aspect of what music does and how when you, like, the entirety of that film like gives you the experience of that freedom within the confines of that juke joint. That juke joint is like a moment in time of like all of them, even the vampire like down the way after the movie is like, yo, like, that was the best fucking day of my life. Like for between what does Vin Diesel say? There's a tip between is a 10-second car between like stop and go for that 10 seconds. I'm free. Like we were free for that amount
we
of
were
time.
free.
So
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was
shit,
so brilliant.
Yeah, so
so
we're talking about that magical ass scene where motherfuckers is like transcending time. You know what I mean? And it's like you have past and future all together in one space. Like when I seen first happen, I couldn't help but laugh. I was laughing because like it was just like they actually did it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't help but feel this is such an important message to be broadcasted. It's like an illumination of our history that connects us from the beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was so happy about that. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say to your point.
Yeah.
I think that, and no pun intended, I think this could also serve as the quote of the day. But I think I walked away from the movie, specifically the themes that you're talking about. Talking about religion and all the things. Yeah. No pun intended, but salvation is not black and white. Woo-hoo! And I feel like that is how, especially I can only speak from the black. I can only speak from the black experience. I was kind of sort of raised in the church and whatnot. And I feel like growing up, we're taught, if you grow up in a black Christian household or whatever, I live in North Carolina. So I've been exposed to the Southern Baptists, stomp your feet, shake your hands, catch the Holy Ghost, all that. And I feel like when you go to church on Sundays, and it was very timely that the movie was released on Easter weekend, because I feel like so many times we're taught that our salvation is black and white, and there's nothing else, that there's no crossroads, there's no juxtaposition to it. And I feel like Ryan Coogler proved that he is smarter than I will ever be. We could sit here and talk for 5 hours, and I would never be able to put pen to paper, video to person or whatever, and really like articulate the way that he got those points across. And I know at the beginning of this episode, I talked about how there was so much discourse online, and not all of it was good, because I ran across a post today, and oh man, I forgot what account it was from, but it was from a pastor. Sometimes Instagram and TikTok will feed you shit that they think you might like. And it was a pastor who was actually talking about how much he enjoyed the movie from from a Christian perspective. However, his comment section did not enjoy the movie. And it was so many people, and I've seen it, I'm chronically online. So I've seen the TikToks, I've seen the tweets, I've seen the Instagram comment sections, diehard Christians.
It's demonic. It's a demonic movie.
I walked out of the movie. It was demonic. I can't, that it didn't sit right with my spirit. And I said, yo, did we watch the same fucking movie, bro? Because I never once in any way, shape, or form sat there and felt like, oh, wow, this is a lot. Like this is demonic, whatever. It was literally, it was such a well thought out commentary on Black people's relationship with religion, and how I think one of the most poignant scenes of the movie is the final scene where Sammy drives home to the church with the guitar broken in half, slashes on his face, bloody, looks like he's about to die. He just saw the devil, literally. And his father could give a shit. His father, the priest could give a fucking damn. Sammy, come to the Lord and confess your love for Jesus Christ in front of the whole congregation. And I'm like, damn, Pops. How are you, nigga? Like, look at me. And I feel like so many times, like, we have to, when it comes to religion, we have to put all of our shit aside to stay on the binary, straight and narrow. And there's no juxtapositions. I've seen people, talk about how, the hoodoo. I can't do that. Was what they were talking about the comment section. Annie's character, the hoodoo, the voodoo, the witchcraft, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, everything. And I'm not about to sit here and act like I am a expert on hoodoo or that. I'm not. However, as me, somebody sitting in that theater who doesn't know much about it, everything about Annie gave love, compassion, knowledge, wisdom. She was the expert in the room when it came to confront. Right, she was the anchor. She was the expert when it came to you know, the how to fight back and save our lives. You know, our first scene with her is us seeing this hardened character in Smoke. You know, Smoke's not all right in the head, as he should not be. But you know, the first thing I see is Annie talking about protection and love and the ancestors and the baby we lost and everything. And that's and all the people in my life who I've come across that are very in touch with their spirituality and our, you know, our ancestors and all those things. Like, that's Ryan Coogler, low key. And this is something that I think that like diehard Christians and religious people kind of have to look in the mirror. And I think that's why they don't like watching these things, because it forces you. It forces you to really look in the fucking mirror, because the way Sammy's pops reacted, he had two scenes, the beginning of the movie and the end. The way his pops reacted is how they react in real life. Like, they don't want to, they don't give a shit. And I was very, you know, I've had my own, you know, religious deconstruction journey. I think, you know, it really, I think, you know, I lost my brother in 2018. That's him right there. And that's kind of, I've been, you know, just religion deconstruction, dealing with all of that over, you know, the course of the last 7 years. And when you talk to, if I was to have a sit down with a super religious pastor or whatever about it, I feel like they would kind of talk to me in the same way that Sammy's pops talked to him, you know, at the end. And so I really, truly resonated with that part, because it was truthful. It was honest. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Coogler, he didn't put the satanic Star David or whatever in the movie. He didn't say hail Satan. He didn't say any of that. He just gave a realistic look, a commentary onto just really what it is. He didn't say anything. I didn't feel like Christianity was downed. I didn't feel like it was put down. I didn't feel like it was none of that. I felt like it was a truly honest. It was an honest critique.
And I think that it's like two things. First of all, that's kind of predatory in a way. It's like, I see that you're weak right now. This is when I'm going to try to get you over to my religion. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to be worried about, especially given the context in which many African Americans became Christians through slavery. You know what I'm saying? And I think it also kind of shows like how religion can be used as a tool to suppress Black authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Because like you think about the music. Oh, that's the devil. That's the devil. You're working with the devil. The blues is the devil. You know what I'm saying? Think about hoodoo. That's the devil. You're doing devil stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, this is like, one, music is coming from the soul. It's coming from you. It also connects you to your ancestors, right? But also, the religions that we study Black people used before slavery, before, you know, the transatlantic slave trade, look like hoodoo. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why is it that, you know what I'm saying, that this manifests? Could you know, the fact that, you know, white people gave us religion as a way to suppress that, do we still have some ramifications from that now? You know what I'm saying? And what does that mean for us? Because what exactly that scene in the movie where he's like trying to bring him to God, or he's saying that that's the devil, don't go with them. That's exactly how Christians look when they say the movie's demonic. You're doing the same thing. You're suppressing Ryan Coogler's Black authentic view by saying that's demonic. It's the devil. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I feel like I was gonna say music was a character. It was its own character in the movie. And you know, you were talking about that scene, Joshua, when you were saying like that's a scene we're gonna talk about forever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was that literally, I feel like music, especially in the Black experience, bro, it conveys pain. All of the music that we've created, all the music we blues is us, rock and roll is us, hip hop is us, you know, gospel music is us. The way the way it is portrayed in the mainstream, and I feel like, you know, just through music is our pain, music is our heritage, and
expression. You know what I'm saying?
Expression. It's really just it's an expression. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he conveyed that part in a perfect way. And it's like you could be as religious as you want to be, but you are being dishonest. You're being intellectually dishonest if you think that scene of Sammy transcending with the ancestors, if you think that scene was anything other than what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was clear, like, and this, we go back to the spoon feeding thing. Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. We got it. You know
like, bro, that was it was literally, you know, we are literally like, we don't like, I don't know about y'all, but I can't sit here and tell you exactly what part of Africa I'm from, but I can tell you that, hey, the music we have, the lineage that I have is directly tied together through something. You know what I'm saying? It's tied together. Music is part of that, bro. Music is a part of, it's no coincidence that pretty much every mainstream piece of music in America is derived from Black people, bro. It's derived from Black people. It's stolen from us. It's co-opted by us. Right now, every time I see that fucking white boy Ian, that rapper who went viral on TikTok, I want to fucking spit on the ground. But
it's crazy.
Bro, like,
David,
I was gonna say, like, just to your point about the binary, I think that shit is everything. Like the religious binary that shows up throughout Sinners. I think the thing that I really fucking love about this movie is the seduction of the vampires mirrors the sort of seduction of the church, and how they're like, yo, we can make all your pain go away. Everything's gonna be cool. You don't ever have to feel pain anymore, which is, I feel like, what the church promises us out the gate. And like to B's point, man, like so much of what I feel like the resistance to this film is from a Christian standpoint is just like it's an ego death. Like you said, like you gotta really be you gotta for real. You gotta confront that shit in a way that's really intense, and dealing with where that shit came from, where like that religion came from, and how you feel about that, I think has been I mean, there were even moments in the movie where I was like, all right, bro. Like, he came with it. Like, in the opening sequence, he juxtaposes the dad with the vampire. Like, it pops in and pops out like 3 or 4 times. And you're like, yo. It's like, he's like, come here.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Boom. And like, whoa, all right. Like, it's not subtle. But
not at all. But I actually forgot about that. That's crazy. That juxtaposition of religion and vampirism, they're both wanting something from him. Sammy, come to us. Give me your power. You know what I mean? Let me use your musical voice to help my own needs. The vampire wanted to connect with his ancestors. His dad wanted to big up the church. Use your music to uplift the church. You know what I'm saying? Damn, you just connected that in real time.
And vampirism is literally it's identical to, it's like the identical manifestation of the ego. We've talked about this before on the show, but like, it's literally what it is a it promises you certainty, right? The uncertainty of your life is like, I don't know if I'm gonna live. I don't know. I got you. You're gonna live forever. Well, I don't know if I'll be strong enough. I got you. You're gonna be strong. You're gonna have all these things. Everything's gonna be great. I'm gonna promise this. No pain, bro. Like, I'm gonna give you that amount of certainty. And so, but the thing is, the ego is certainty itself, right? The ego itself, our self, is to create a sense of certainty in the world. And so when we interpret Christianity from that sort of egoic perspective, we interpret it from this like idea that everything is certain, everything is going to be okay. And so many of us have a tough time when we are taught this sort of black and white idealistic way of moving into the world, and then we're met with uncertainty and we're unable to deal with it, except for like, I don't know, Jesus will fix it. Like, I don't know. Jesus will fix it.
Maybe I'll become a vampire and that'll fix it. You know what I'm saying? Just a position, heaven and earth or heaven and hell. You know what I mean? Pick one. You know what I'm saying? Binary, black and white. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's profound. And I'm just thinking about this idea of like eliminating pain that religion and both vampirism offer. And then you have in the middle like the usage of music, like André talked about. There's a scene in the movie where Slim, he says, literally, they did everything they could. They gave us that religion, but they couldn't take the blues from us. They couldn't take this from us. And then we see that translation of pain into music in the movie. You know what I mean? When he's driving past what is it called? The motherfuckers working on the slave chain or whatever.
That was a convict leasing program.
Convict leasing program. That's the most governmental way to say that is a history buff if I ever heard one.
That's what it was.
Wow. To that point though, I was gonna think chain gang. That's what I was thinking of. But
that's what it was too. Yeah. And in that moment, he was talking about his problem. They hung one of his friends. They took his manhood, and he was like, and he just started. Just start humming.
He starts singing from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that was improvised too.
Yeah.
Really
that's beautiful. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Because it shows you what we do with our pain. There's these two options: operate no pain, and we are here transforming into our pain into something beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Delroy Lindo did an interview, and that's what did I say at the beginning? We had a real fucking rollout. Delroy Lindo, he did an interview. I forgot when it was, but it was an interview that came from the rollout.
Delroy Lindo was the guy who played Slim, right?
Yeah, he played Delta Slim. Yeah. And he said that that scene in the car, that monologue in specific that he gave, Ryan Coogler and the production staff, they were going to cut that scene. They were going to cut it completely. But remember, his humming and his trance, his pain that he gave, which made the scene so powerful, that was improvised. That wasn't in the script. So he said that he went to Ryan Coogler and said, "You can't cut this scene. You cannot cut that monologue because like it's important. It gives so much depth to not only Delta Slim's character." But that really was kind of like the ushering in of like the importance of music in the movie. And so he said that when he did the scene, Miles Caton and Michael B. Jordan, who was Stack at the time, they were in the car, Sammy in the back, Stack in the front. And of course, Miles had no idea how to respond. So, but Michael B. Jordan, seasoned actor, on the way to GOAT status, low key. But he when he says, Stack says, "You got that guitar, like, come on, do something with it." That was all improvised. That wasn't supposed to happen. Because if you go back and look, Sammy is kind of sitting there like, true, yeah. Like he's not supposed, like he did that, and they said the scene ends with Sammy about to strum the guitar. And so that was just, first of all, Delroy Lindo, fucking GOAT. I will be campaigning this winter and fall for him to best supporting actor, in a movie or whatever for the Oscars or whatever. But that scene was fully 100% improvised. That was a acting masterclass. Black pain. That's what it looks like. Because and it was so, when he did it and I was in the theater the first time, I was like, that's my grandma. Like, that's my grandmother. That's literally my grandmother, my grandfather. Like, that's what they do. That's what my great aunts, who are all 70 going on 80 right now. Both, my grandpa James, like, God rest his soul, he passed last year. That's them. That's literally like them. That's how I was like, fuck, that's so much was acting. There are probably 10 actors alive, black actors. I talk about Jake Gyllenhaal and shit, but there's probably like 10 black actors alive that could do that. But what Delroy Lindo did in that scene,
I mean, the monologue, just from
the monologue,
I was like, bro, like monologues are fucking hard.
So go ahead. What you say?
No, I'm saying monologues are fucking hard. Like, they're not easy, but the fact that he delivered that with such like crazy. Did you catch on, like, I didn't catch the second watch, but like the sound underneath that was the sound of what the story he was telling. The sound of lynching, and they put it underneath. I was like, bro,
you could hear the rope, like, when you stretch rope, it makes that like weird rope sound. You can hear that. You can hear that, and what he was what he was describing was like, the common experience at that time. Like, if you really think about it, I'm assuming Delta Slim, he says when they're at the train station that he was like, I got about 10 good years left. I got 10 years left. Like, I'm assuming, the life expectancy for black men in specific was not very long back then, especially. But I'm assuming he's Delroy Lindo in real life is 73. So I'm going to pretend Delta Slim was 73. And if you look at it, 32 minus 73 is 1859 is when he was born. So Delta Slim was probably a slave. His mother was probably a slave. He lived for 6-ish years while slavery was still alive in the South. And then, he's, the story he told was the story of how so many black men were killed after slavery. He was talking about they got arrested for vagrancy laws. And for people who are listening who don't know what that is, basically when we were freed in 1865, quote unquote, we were freed. they needed, we cotton was king. We had to replace cotton. So we're going to arrest black men, specifically black men, any way we can. Oh, what are you doing, boy? You don't got an ID? I was on a plantation last week, bitch. Why the fuck would I have an ID? Oh, you don't have an ID? All right, to prison. Oh, you're not in school, bitch. You wouldn't let me read. You didn't teach you how to read. Prison. You know what I'm saying? So we're putting them in prison, and then we're having the former slave masters who don't have slaves anymore are coming to these prisons. And they're leasing out convicts to come do the same work that they were just doing when slavery. And now it's like, oh, I can kill you if you look at me wrong while you're working on my plantation. I'll just go get another one. They're arresting y'all by the fucking boatload. I'll just go get another one. So, and it's crazy because Delta Slim, seeing those guys on the side of the road in 1932, almost, 70 years since slavery was abolished, the same shit is happening to them. He told a story of how he was arrested for vagrancy laws. We're seeing a clear prison chain gang convict leasing program. We're seeing that all manifested itself. And that goes back to Ryan Coogler is smarter than I will ever be, because he was able it just took me fucking 15 minutes to explain all that. And that scene was how long?
30 seconds?
90 seconds?
Yeah.
Not like if you really go back and look, and I'm gonna go type of shit the third viewing is for. Now I'm not going to watch the movie again. I'm going to see like, wow, why did Ryan Coogler do that? I see how he did that. Like I'm watching that scene under a completely different lens the next time that I go. Like, just the way you get the same thing with the Native Americans and how my homeboy was like, where did they come from? Nigga, Ryan Coogler kind of told us what the Native Americans was on in 90 seconds? Like Native Americans should be the most respected demographic in this country if we keep it in a stack. They in touch with the land. This is their shit, nigga. They're in touch with the land. They would know if it's some evil shit afoot and how to kill it and how to hunt it down. You know what I'm saying? And Ryan Coogler and that Native American troop, it was 7 of them, 6 of them. I could see 2 of them spoke. The man at the door, and then one of them on the carriage, and the carriage dude was like, "Hey, my boy, we got to go.
Let's go."
And you could see the tight knitness of what Native American tribes are like. You could understand they're an expert in this. They're spiritual. They understand that. Hey, we just saw a Caucasian man fall from the sky with 3rd-degree well done steak burns on his back. And the Native Americans are experts in that. They're experts in discernment. They're experts in spirituality, experts in the land. Ryan Coogler conveyed that in 90 fucking seconds.
He did.
Like that, bro.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's what you really got to appreciate about the film, because there's so much reverence for the indigeneity of Black people. The I can't even say that twice. Indigeneity of Native Americans. You know what I mean? There's a appreciation for hoodoo, and there's a juxtaposition of like, hey, this shit that we've been doing, this shit that's been affecting us, that's not from us, it's not as good as we think it is, you know? And it's important for, Black people to take a second look at that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, that's so important. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we look at like, talking about the juxtapositions of like vampirism and religion. And like at the end of the movie, when motherfucking Sammy is reciting the Bible verses, the vampires start saying it too. This is so diabolical. He was like, yeah, they did the same. They ran the same playbook on me, bro. When the British came and colonized the Irish, you know what I'm saying? They used religion to remove the indigenous, you know what I'm saying, aspects of the society away from them, to wash it over and replace it with the values of the colonizer. You know what I'm saying? So now it begs the question: is like, how are Black people going to navigate removing from us, the values of the colonizer, and in place usurping something that is more authentic and original to us, from us, by us, some real FUBU shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
I love that line. Wait, can we talk about the fact there were so many lines like that? Like you said, we had the for us, by us. We had grand opening, grand closing. Like he was we back, bro. Like this shit was so Black. Josh, to your point, bro. Like I was just thinking, like I was wondering about, because what really struck me the second time I saw it was this idea of like white resentment of our ability to take that pain and like navigate all of the shit that's happening to us and to still figure it out and to still create a culture and to still show up like that. Like I don't know if you watched it. There's a white dude on TikTok who's tripping me out. He's like, white people have never been able to, and he just got like a thing in the back and he's just going off about like white supremacy and he's hilarious. But like, he has this really good video where he talks about like the inability for white people to be able to grieve the fact that they've lost all of their connection to culture, to be able to jump into whiteness, like losing their indigenous roots and to be able to assimilate into that, and how they like fundamentally haven't been able to grieve that experience of the fact that they lost so much. And also, I don't know if he even got to it, but maybe he did talk about it, but like, from my takeaway from that was like, God, that's got to be intense to A, not be able to grieve that or even recognize and deal with that, but B, to see people who they know they got their shit took and they're still being able to figure that out and turn that pain into something and to thrive. There's got to be a level of resentment there. I mean, we feel that resentment all the time, but it's just like, that's got to be intense to watch. Not to be like, I'm sorry, white people, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, in a way, it's kind of like white supremacy does a disservice to white people too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchy, hegemony, in the same way that patriarchy fucks over men sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit really is not for us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need to find a way to build something more authentic, because white people have lost their roots. You motherfuckers come over to America and they replace their Irish or Italian or whatever the fuck heritage with the cult of capital. That nigga celebrating during the commercials during the Super Bowl. That's the culture.
I feel like Coogler gave kind of a critique, or really his opinion, or showed it, however you want to say. He gave us literally a illustration of that in Remick, the main villain. He
like extraction of Sammy, like motherfucker.
Like of black people for their own personal gain.
We had and even with Remick, who people have tried to make Remick kind of like a sympathetic character, but I was like, let's realize. I see how you got there. There, because at the same time, Remick's qualms with white people and where he comes from is valid, super fucking valid. Not saying it's not. Like him, he's an illustration of what it's like to be white in America and still have his grasp to his indigenous roots in Ireland. And that's something that I don't think us black, white, Asian, whatever in 2025 have. We don't really have a illustration of that in real time, because every immigrant that I know that still is tied to their ancestral roots is either from Africa, is brown from the Middle East, or an Asian person. In my 29 years of being alive, I don't know if I've ever met an indigenous European that was not that was not from like I'm in college. I met a couple foreign exchange students from Britain and England or whatever. One of them was black, but we won't get into that. Yeah. But I don't think I've met a Scottish person, an Irish person or whatever. Yeah. So I think Remick really gave us that look into, wow, he's white in our sense of understanding whiteness, but he's not, but he is. Yeah. But he's also not. But he is. You know what I'm saying? There's so many layers to it.
Like a motherfucker too. Because I was saying he code switched like a motherfucker too. Because I didn't notice that until the second viewing. Like in the first one, it's like, y'all help me. These. And the Irish like, yo.
And he showed like that assimilation into he saw that Remick, like it's just like these like half of a second scenes that are like 0.8 seconds long. Remick, that camera cut to Bert, the white man, Bert's clan robe. That camera cut was so quick, but it's so fucking important because you can see the KKK doesn't exist. The clan don't exist no more. But Remick glancing at the robe, made everything that Hogg would say at the beginning a load of fucking shit. But it showed, and then how he immediately sees, oh fuck, I'm dealing with them. Okay, let me code switch. Let me give you some money. Let me. I don't know. I don't know what. And then it just that assimilation into whiteness, because had Remick kept that old Southern drawl for the rest of the movie, had he could have kept that Southern drawl for the rest of the movie, and no one would have known. You know what I'm saying? But he then immediately goes back into his ancestral, his Irish tone. His when they had the vampire mosh pit outside where they were dancing to Rocky Road to Dublin, and that song went kind of crazy. It went kind of crazy, and I feel like Jack O'Connell, who played Remick, masterclass. I'm not even gonna hold you. This is a black ass movie, but I'm gonna give him his 10s for the way that he was able to portray that. Like, I'm gonna give him to you, my boy. Like, he cooked. He fucking cooked as the villain. He got everything across that needed to be, conveyed to us as the viewer. And so it was a very good way to showcase that, like, that chameleon type way that whiteness can be assimilated into, but only by the immigrants, white presenting people. Exactly.
We never gonna be close enough to that shit. Like,
we can never do that shit. My big black ass can walk up in there and I'm getting movie would have had a grand opening, grand closing right there, because she would have blew me away off the porch
right there. Immediately. I think that's so important to bring up, because he was Irish. A lot of people don't understand that the rich texture of history that Irish people have in America. Like, they were seen as like second class citizens. They were like, you're not white, bro. You're not white in that moment, like very close to blackness. Like, the little bit of scratch of white I got in me, like it's from Irish, because they used to run together a lot. But like white people Irish people chose to assimilate into whiteness for what? Their own survival. And on that porch, he saw how racist they was, but he said, hey, I can survive. So let me into the white club. You know what I'm saying? The vampire, but that's like a metaphor of how like people end up assimilating for their own survival, for their own betterment. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something I just pieced together right now by listening to niggas talk. And this is why I love some if that deep ass niggas, bro.
Not to get too like better. Not to get too not less deep, but
nigga, we gonna shoot you, nigga. Don't play with
me. Something that I feel like is not getting enough attention with this movie, and I think it's a testament to his work, is Michael B. Jordan put in a motherfucking masterclass.
We took way too long to get to MBJ. I'm not even gonna lie, I was a little bit of a Michael B. Jordan detractor before the movie, only because I felt like he was a little inconsistent in the believability of his roles. Like, one of my favorite shows of all time is Friday Night Lights. He was in the last 2 seasons. I thought he was great in that. Thought he was great in The Wire.
Things that he's ever done, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he was great in The Wire. I thought he was cool in Fruitvale, very good at Fruitvale Station. I did not love his portrayal of Killmonger. I didn't love it.
Okay,
I thought
can we talk about that real quick? Okay, because my first takeaway in this film was, and I feel weird being an actor saying this, but my first takeaway is the moral ambiguity that I got from the Stack Twins is the same moral ambiguity that I wanted from Killmonger, but less aggressive. I thought Killmonger was very much aware that he was a bad guy, and I was like, you don't got to do all that. We are on your side from the jump. These crackers are crazy. And I felt like he was like so aggressive with that portrayal. And like in all the lead up, everything he was doing, he was saying like, oh yeah, my first bad guy. It's my first bad guy. And I watched the movie and I was like, yeah, nigga, you think this is your first bad guy. But it's like Killmonger was just the guy. I feel like everything that I wanted from Killmonger, I got from the Stack Twins and more. In every single scene of this movie, he does something that I've never seen him do before in a movie. And I've seen everything he's done. I was like, bro, just out of control.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was scared. I was afraid, because I feel like that is such a what he was asked to do in this movie was such a tall task. Like, and I don't even, there was never a moment in the movie especially my second time viewing, there was never a moment where I didn't know which twin was which. I feel like he gave so much personality to each twin. I actually watched another interview of Omar Miller, who played Cornbread, said that Michael B. Jordan, when he would come to set on the days that he would, like, if I'm shooting Smoke today, he's coming to set more serious. We're not joking. I'm not kikiing. If he's coming to set a Stack, what's good, bro? How you doing, bro? How you living? Like, smiling, being that, really internalizing that. Like, and I feel like that is such a tall task that he was asked to do. And shout out to all the production crew, the people that made, shout out the people that were in charge of the people that did the dirty work, the editing, the visual effects, all the costume designers. Shout out to all of them. This movie was clearly a labor of love from that standpoint, from every standpoint, but from that standpoint specific. I shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I genuinely think, and there's gonna be some tall tasks because there's a lot of great movies coming out this year. But you're gonna be hard pressed, me personally, if we get to February next year. That's when I believe the Oscars are. If we get to February next year and Michael B. Jordan is not hoisting an Oscar for Best Actor in a major motion picture, you better fucking show me. I need a PowerPoint. Stop the show. We're putting I want every voter on stage with a PowerPoint presentation, and you better prove to me. Why, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't even him being twins on some funny shit. Like, shout out Lindsay Lohan and The Parent Trap. Shout out all the I can't think of any other twin representation that we've seen on screen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out T and Tamara, who are real twins. You know what I'm saying? But like, the tall task of being twins in this movie is incredible and made it believable. Not once did I ever think, damn, that line delivery was bad. That was like, bro, at the end of the fucking, like, I know I talked about my brother earlier. It's so incredible how Michael B. Jordan's portrayal of two brothers, even though he's the same nigga, made me sit in the theater and reminisce on my relationship with my brother. He was my younger brother. My brother was 2 years younger than me. It's my only sibling. Was 2 years younger than me, and Smoke being like the bigger brother, and his need, internal instincts to feel like he had to protect Stack, and Stacks, and we see that montage at the end where they're fighting to the death, and Smoke's like, you were the one person I couldn't kill, or Stack, he was like the one person I couldn't kill, and he makes the promise like, you'll stay alive, just don't kill Sammy, let Sammy live out his life. And like, I truly believe that the juke joint doors were locked, not so that the KKK couldn't get in, but so that Stack could be protected from the sunlight, from the guns or whatever. And Smoke's last deed on earth was protecting his younger brother. The last thing that he ever did was protecting his younger brother. And Michael B. Jordan just, if you go back to the scene where the snake was there, and Stack has the weapon. Here, big bro, you kill the snake, you get us out of danger. Just little shit like that, where they hugged each other and said, you be safe. And Stack was like, I will. Just little shit like that. As a person, I think you can relate to if you got a sibling, but I think it's even deeper if we're talking about that brotherly shit, bro. Like, you really made me believe, and you made me sit in the theater and feel something for my sibling. And Stacks, I think one of the best lines of the fucking movie wasn't even in the fucking movie. It was in the mid-credit scene where, for the last time I seen the son, last time I seen my brother, and that last time we were free. And I'm like, I literally, my second viewing, I teared up. I teared up on that. Like, Michael B. Jordan, give him his shit, nigga. Give it to him. And it's bullshit that the fucking Oscars is so political, because I didn't even know this. I'm not a cinephile. I love movies, but I don't have a movie TikTok account or nothing like that. But I learned something new, that Sinners dropping in April, end of March, April, is low-key doing a disservice to its award potential
campaign. The campaign is going to be,
and the Oscars came out and said, hey, from now on, all Oscar voters have to actually watch the full fucking movies, apparently.
And I can't, we're doing that.
Apparently it's the same thing. Like, if you're in like the NFL or the NBA, you got to watch film. They give you an iPad and they can tell if you've watched the entire thing. Same thing happens with the Oscar voters. They give you an iPad, an account to watch all the movies that are nominated. And some of the voters reportedly, allegedly, were just let's start Sinners, start Fast and Furious 5. I'm gonna go wash the dishes while it plays all the way through. And so, and just think how many black people have been fucked because of that. People's just like apathy to not, immediately. Angela Bassett comes to mind for being snubbed, for her beautiful, reverential performance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And so it's like. And then also it's like, oh, you want to drop in November or December so that people's recency bias can tune in, can unlock to say, oh shit, that new Power Rangers movie just dropped 60 days ago. I remember that because humans at the end of the day, we're dumb as fuck. At the end of the fucking day, especially in 2025, bro, where I got a screen here, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, the game on, NFL, this. Like, and so it's like we're dealing like, bro, honestly,
I hope that
I'm not like a proponent of like AI and shit, but that might be the one fucking field that AI got to take over, because if you know what I'm saying, we got an 80-year award show, and you not about to sit here and tell me that a nigga or a black woman specifically, because Halle Berry is still the last motherfucking black woman to win Best Lead or Supporting Actress in a fucking movie at the Oscars. You know about to sit here and tell me that Denzel shouldn't have 20 Oscars, or you know what I'm saying, or Angela Bassett shouldn't have a fucking Oscar, or all these black pioneers. Delroy fucking Lindo does not have an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that to say, Michael B. Jordan, I sent this in my group chat. I said, Michael B. Jordan, they said you couldn't act. They said you was soft. They said you couldn't do it. It was me. I said that shit. But you come beat my ass. You got it, big dog. Big bro, you got it. Because you could have been shitty in 20 straight movies. This would have absolved a decade of shittiness. This was incredible. And that can't be overstated enough. And I think it is our duty of people that create content. I think it's your duty, especially if you are black, or not even if you're black, if you appreciate people getting their 10s when they deserve them. If you create content, especially if you're a movie person on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, when the fall comes around and you see these Oscar campaigns really ramp up and shit, let's talk about Sinners again. I'm going back and I'm reigniting the dialogue. Let's talk about Mary. Let's talk about the Native Americans. Let's talk about Michael B. Jordan. Like, we have to. That is our. If you are listening to this out there, that is your fucking. You got one job this fall and this winter. Unless something better comes out, but I've seen the slate of movies coming out, and Pedro Pascal, I love you down, but he's not winning an Oscar for being Mr. fucking Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Like, and it's low key, the reason that Angela Bassett, probably one of the reasons, other than probably being a black woman, but the reason that Angela Bassett probably did not win that Oscar is because people don't take the Oscars does not take Marvel movies and superhero movies seriously. That's why Black Panther, I believe, is the first and only Marvel movie to be nominated for an Oscar, period. And they got they were not, the first one was nominated, I believe, for its soundtrack or its score. And
costume and soundtrack.
Costume soundtrack. So that there's a whole bunch of Marvel movies coming out. We just got the Captain America, that shit was mid. We got Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts comes out this Friday and is actually pushing Sinners out of IMAX.
I know. I'm so mad about that, because I'm like, yo,
bro,
I don't even know if they're gonna win this week. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, honestly, Sinners, it's not gonna win this. Thunderbolts is already projected to do at least 175 worldwide. Oh, is it really?
It's already that's that Marvel shit, bro. Because it's the Marvel machine. I literally tweeted it. I was like, fuck, Sinners is getting pushed out, because me and my homies going on Friday, and I was like, yo, we got to see this at IMAX. And I'm refreshing the Fandango app, and I'm like, where the fuck the IMAX at? And then I did 1 + 1 = 2. Oh, Marvel. Like you were stupid if you think Marvel did not plan to run Thunderbolts into the ground IMAX wise for the next month. And so it's all Sinners did, I think, like right under 60 million worldwide for its debut. Thunderbolts is going to do 200 million, and that's the Marvel machine. I'm not worried about that.
Ain't nobody touching that.
And I literally said Sinners is being pushed out of IMAX for Marvel slop. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, Thunderbolts might be good. I'm gonna see Thunderbolts. I like Marvel movies. I'm not about to say I don't think. I like watching shit blow up, nigga. I like watching people fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is stressful.
Turn your brain off.
Exactly. Life, nigga. Rent due next week. I'm stressed out. Let me go watch some niggas fight in midair and nuke the Pacific Ocean. Nigga, I don't fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Real shit, bro.
Shout out MBJ, bro. Shout out MBJ.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out MBJ, and I do want to talk about his, like, I mean, to your point, it's like his performance was amazing. Like, at a certain point in the movie, I forgot it was one person. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't remember how many times that happened, but it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, but also his role in the movie, because I think Ryan Coogler kind of talks about it and in the rollout. You know what I'm saying? He talks about how it's representative of like the Yoruba culture, the two brothers, in the sense of like having two energies, and I thought that was so cool, because not only does that exists, but it also, like, those two characters kind of like show you how Black people can move through the community of Blackness. You know what I'm saying? When Smokestack first heard Sammy saying, he said, "Whoa, boy, you want to make some money." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the flip side of that, Smoke was like, "Hey man, I don't know any happy singers, bro. You're gonna be like Delta Slim, you ain't gonna be happy." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they came from two different perspectives throughout the movie. You know what I'm saying? Even the scene where it's like you think Smoke would be on the side that Stack was on, but they were talking about like not letting Black people into the juke joint because they had the sharecropper money. You know what I'm saying? They had the wooden coins. You know
the wooden coins.
Yeah. And it's like for me, like the relationship in which they kind of played throughout the movie, it was profound, and it also kind of like shows you, like, in that microcosm, it's like how Black capitalism in and of itself is not a sustainable model to save Black people. You know what I mean? It will not, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they try to be isolationists and be like, don't let no white people in, and they say, nigga, we're gonna be out of business in 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
They let white people in, and then what happened? And then besides all that, the nigga that sold them the land, the KKK. They come to kill everybody in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show you, to reinforce the idea that, like, we will never be accepted in society. Look up Fred Hampton. They can be a socialist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fight for real economic change, because in society we'll never be accepted. You know what I'm saying? But David, I want to give you a chance to speak on Stack and Smoke a little bit.
Oh no, I was gonna like even double down on what you were saying. Just both of those energies is like I loved, and this is just some weird spiritual shit, but like the color combination of red and blue. When you look at that throughout, like, art and throughout time, that red is going to point to an idea of separation, isolation, and the contraction into form. And the blue is looking at the holistic aspect of things. And you see that reflected in both of them. You tell, like, Smoke tells Stack, he's like, this nigga don't know how to watch his back, because he's so locked into the right now. He's so locked into this moment and his immediate satisfaction.
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier.
Like you said, I'm a soldier.
You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter they don't got money, because right now it's fine. They need to have a good time tonight. While Smoke on the other side is like,
Smoke is ready to pop a nigga in the juke joint. Right? I mean, we saw him not pop a nigga, but beat a nigga, had a nigga beat half to death. You know what I'm saying? And what you said, David, pointed to, you said the color combination, like there were distinctions. Like Stack was dressed like an Irish mobster. I'm sorry, an Italian mobster. If you go back, the hat and that suit combination, that was the way Irish mobsters. I'm sorry, Italian mobsters. And Smoke had on like the knitted coat. Smoke had on the knitted cap, and the way his suit was tailored and done up, that was Irish, and the Stack was Italian. And that just points to they were running with when they were in that just goes back to it, like they were up in Chicago running with different sets. Stack was running with the Irish mob. I'm sorry, the Italian mafia, and Smoke was running with the Irish. You know what I'm saying? So that just little shit like that. If you look at that scene again, when they're honestly, that might be one of my favorite scenes of the movies where they pop up. Because one, Ludwig Göransson, 10s. Thank you for that score. One of my, if you go on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to your music and you look up the Center soundtrack, my favorite song on the soundtrack is called Smokestack Twins. And the song is fuck. I hate when songs are too short because I need more. And it's so beautiful. There's a harmonica. There's just so many string instruments in it. But anyway, I love that scene because that's the first time we see the twins. And that song from the soundtrack is playing. And then if you look, the production designer, I forgot her name, but she was on Twitter talking about that scene. If you look, the background where they're saying we cousins, Stack behind him is outside. It's the sky. Yeah. Smoke behind him is security. It's the building. You know what I'm saying? There's a clear split down the middle, and that outside is where Stack's gonna live forever. He's bound to it. He's bound to the outside world forever. Yeah. Smoke forever is bound to security. He's with the ancestors when the movie is over. And I'm just like, Ryan Coogler, you are smarter than I will ever be. You are smarter than I will ever be. And niggas on Twitter, the fucking production assistant. Let me start calling her an assistant. Let me put some respect on her name. The main production designer. Literally, people were like pointing out, like, "Yo, there's something going on with this scene where the brothers are introduced, and I can't really put my finger on it." And the production designer came, she quoted it and was like, "Yo, I love how you want to dig into the scene. Tell me more. What did you see? Like, there were so many things happening here, and niggas were in her quotes saying." Y'all, they didn't know it was who she was, but I don't think that would have mattered because Twitter is Twitter. Yeah. But they were in her quote saying, "This scene, y'all doing too much, bro. The scene wasn't that deep." How the fuck you gonna tell her, nigga? It was. And we circle back to the beginning of the show where I said, it's always that fucking deep. And you know what? Even if it wasn't, you gonna beat my ass for creating fan fiction? You gonna whoop me? You gonna whoop me for career? And that's how we go back. Even more parallels. We talk about salvation and understanding is in black and white. The way I interpreted that scene, it's okay. I'm not being malicious with it. I'm being creative. I'm using the brain that the God we love gave me. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's real shit. And to speak to that, it's like that Sammy has on the Italian hat like Smoke in the beginning of the movie, but at the end of the movie, the blue scene, he get that motherfucking Irish tango on. You know what I'm saying? The symbolism there is like I realized how Smoke may have been right about a lot of this music shit. You know what I'm saying? In my pursuit of freedom, I found out some real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
In order for Stack to get his freedom, he had to become a fucking vampire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In order for Smoke to get his freedom, he had to fucking die. You know what I'm saying?
He had to die. Yeah.
And Sammy had to run away from home and start a brand new. And it's just like, it's just so much in this movie that everybody's path to their own salvation looks different, because at the end of the day, I think it's very symbolic that, like you said, Sammy did what he did. I think Sammy, I can't necessarily interpret a whole bunch off of that mid-credit scene, maybe the most important mid-credit scene of all time. Yeah, but Sammy was clearly resolute in the freedom that he chose. Like, was that Sammy was probably 18, 19 at the beginning of the movie. That's 60 years later. Sammy's 70, 80 years old or whatever, right? Yeah. Sammy's resolute in his. Smoke is resolute in his because he took off the mojo that Annie gave him. Yeah. And of course, he wants to be with his love, his daughter. Yeah. And then Stack, I'm led to believe that he's resolute in his freedom as well. For sure. Because Stack, you had 60 years to walk into the sun, my nigga. Yeah. Like Stack was, it is very symbolic that Stack 60 years later is still with Mary, is still a vampire, still, you know what I'm saying? Like Stack is okay with the fate that was bestowed upon him. And it's like, and I'm not even gonna say that Stack, he didn't choose his freedom or salvation at the beginning because he didn't ask to be bitten, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't ask but he was cool with it because some of Stack was still there. Because if Stack was gone up here, he would have turned Sammy every which way but loose as soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't imagine that Stack probably knew where Sammy was 30 years prior to 1992. Stack could have bit Sammy and threw him off a bridge in 1958 if he wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But Stack was resolute. You know, and I took his power for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, people and Annie also chose her fate. You know what I'm saying? She was like, stab me, kill me right now, kill me. You know, Mary chose her fucking fate. She right there with Stack. You could have walked into the sun.
Yeah,
you could have walked in.
Every last one of you.
And Mary by association kept Smoke's promise too. Mary could have went rogue and kill Sammy. She could have went rogue. And I also this is my fan fiction real quick. I am led to believe, and this is David, when you watch it again, because you've been over there, I know you about to go your third time, and it's gonna be a different experience for you. But I'm led to believe that if Stack was in the barn, not the juke joint, which I believe he was, even if he wasn't, I am led to believe, hopefully, I really hope this is what happened, and I'm talking about this as if this is the real world, but I hope that Stack and or Mary came back and buried Smoke. I really hope they did, because I hope that they did, because I don't want to think about what the white people of that town of Clarksdale, Mississippi would have done had they come across 25 dead Klan members. Not even don't matter if they're Klan members, 25 dead white people. And a black man who got a gun, who in front of the black man is the Grand Wizard of the KKK, who got more bullets in him than everybody else, and a gun is sitting next to the black man. So I'm gonna put two and two together, and then not only that, I see a car that was treated like a Call of Duty game that had a grenade thrown in it, and so I don't want to we people who talk about on social media, we've heard about what people would do, white people would do to black bodies after they hang them, after they kill them, they would mutilate the bodies, take the manhood, keep their body parts as souvenirs, skin them, turn them into leather, eat them. So I'm gonna hope that's part of the fan fiction that I think one of the things Ryan Coogler probably left for us to interpret.
For sure.
That Stack and Mary, and fuck Mary, Stack. I hope that Stack. I really hope Stack, your brother died protecting you. Finish the job. Protect him in death. Protect him in death. And that's David. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, bro? That's that brother shit, bro. That brother shit, bro. It's so deep, dog. I told my homeboy Tavon was like, the movie, it's not even bro, this movie is probably a horror movie 5th or 6th. It's a love story. It's a love story not only for romantic. This is a love story about brotherhood. This is a musical. This is a Christian movie. This is you know what I'm saying? Musical. Hey, Ryan Coogler, fuck all these other movies you're trying to do. Go put Sinners on Broadway. We got to get you your time.
For real. I mean,
we got to get you.
Play at certain times.
Bro, honest, you got 20 songs on the soundtrack. Go put this bitch on Broadway. And bring Ludwig with you. Have him write some more songs. I need Ryan Coogler with an EGOT. I need it. I need it more. I need it like I need water and air. I need it. Go put this bitch on Broadway. Fuck the sequels. I don't want a sequel. I don't want a prequel. Let this bitch stand on its own, please. Let it stand on its own.
That's some real shit.
Let it stand on its own. You gave us all these nuggets and stuff. I want you to let it stand on its own, because I don't want him to be tied to these intellectual properties. I think that was a big storyline for the movie in and of itself. That Ryan Coogler, we've seen him direct Fruitvale Station, based on a true story. Black Panther 1 and 2. Disney and Marvel intellectual property. Creed. Intellectual property from that has like 75 movies that came before it that canonically. Let this stand by itself. Go make us something else, because clearly you got a lot of shit going on up there, my boy. And I want to know about it. Go put this, have somebody put this on Broadway. Make sure you get your credit so you can get your Tony. I need it.
That's real shit. And I want to talk a bit about, well, first of all, black people, I love the energy, bro. Black people deserve their fucking flowers, bro. We deserve their flowers, and it's on us as creators to help uplift that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
100%. I love that energy from you, man. It really just it illuminates me. You know what I mean? And it just, I feel it's a brotherly love right now. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of which, one, I want to talk about how I don't think Stack was under the spell of Remick. Because if you notice, you look at everybody else's eyes, they were red. If you look at Stack's, his eyes were blue. His eyes were fucking blue, bro. David, watch.
I didn't notice that.
You'll see his eyes. And when they're all dancing around and they get the Irish stepping and shit, and then they just jigging and shit.
His shit was. You're right. I remember that.
And they're blue as fuck. So I think Smoke or Stack in the moment, he was for real. He was like, bro, turn with me, bro. We can be free. This is my version of freedom, but it differed from his brother's version of freedom. That wasn't like that wasn't what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that plays into their personalities as well, because a nigga like Stack would probably be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing that's presented, the first thing that is presented to Smoke before, you know, in the afterlife is the thing, you know, is love. Being like the nigga died. The nigga died being a big brother and immediately took on the role as a father. As soon as he's, you know, is going to like that is him. That's him. And Stack is running around with his white wife.
Hey, you know, she a quarter. She's 1/8.
She's 1/8. And Haley Stanfield is really 1/8 in real life. She's really 1/8. So shout out to the casting director, because y'all ate up with that. But like Stack, you know, Stack got the fucking Stack jewelry on his hand, wearing the most 1992 outfit that could ever exist, with the flat top. Like he's clean as fuck. Like Stack, he loved that shit. Gucci sweater, like Stack was like, that's just like some little brother energy, bro. Like I'm cool with it. I'm free flowing. I'm cool. I'm smiling. Like what's there to be sad about? Eternal life. I gotta stay inside until 7 p.m. But after that, let's get active.
I'm outside.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm outside. Like Stack was the original. I'm out. We outside as nigga.
He really was. He really was.
He was really outside. And Smoke was, I'm in the crit. Sorry, bro, I can't make it tonight, bro. I'm with the old lady.
Little brother,
you doing shit I be doing right now. I can't come out tonight, bro. My wife, you know what I'm saying? I had to go build a TV stand.
To your point, because this is you. I'm glad you brought that shit up, because there's this whole sort of thing on the internet right now. People talking about like this plot hole of like people being under the spell and doing that, like whatever.
Yeah,
they're like, I'm maybe just too into vampire lore. I'm deep down a vampire rabbit hole. There is a thing in vampire lore known as young vampires. Young vampires don't got no goddamn sense. They're hungry as shit. They just turned. They act cool. They're like, oh, like they just need to eat quick. So Haley Steinfeld being like, oh, like, you know, we're gonna kill every last one of you. Everybody out there being like kind of under this, like, so they ain't got no kind of control. So like, it's not a character inconsistency. They're young, and then as time goes by, they learn to deal with their powers and not be so dominated by that shit.
And Remick was very mature. You know what I'm saying? Very
control of them niggas, like
you know
what I'm saying?
Very in control, of his powers, was speaking Chinese to Grace. You know what I'm saying? He was accessing people's memories. Like there was a clear like juxtaposition of old and young vampires. And to your point, I was not super. I'm not gonna say super. I wasn't familiar with vampire lore at all. Like I didn't. Wow. Vampires are a lot deeper in the sense of like the whole "can I come in?" Like, there's actually I saw a TikTok today. Y'all remember the Disney Channel original movies? There was a movie My Mom's on a Date with a Vampire or something like that. And if you go back and watch the scene where the kids, you go pick up, a woman for a date or whatever, you come to the door, knock on the door, the mom's upstairs getting ready for the date, and the kids open the door and they're like, "Oh, who are you?" "Oh, I'm here to pick up your mom for a date." And then he's just standing there awkwardly looking at the kids. Mind you, this movie is like 30 years old. And he's like, "Can I come in?" And it's just little shit like that. I was like, "Oh, so this is a thing." Yeah. Ryan Coogler respected the hell out of it. He respected the hell out of, you know what I'm saying, the vampire lore. I feel like that might be other than like the fangs and the sucking blood and stuff and can't go into the sun. I feel like that's a huge one. And I feel like
we cast vampires when they first started. Like we talked about we had a good episode with Frankie this year. We talked about Interview with a Vampire. And you remember how weak that motherfucker was? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
I've
never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He first turned, nigga. Oh my God. I can't remember their names right now, but the blood nigga was so much more powerful than the other nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was just like, I get the plot hole things, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that, the brothers, they had something evil passed down to them from their parents, or it was the mojo from Annie that protected them in that moment. You know what I mean? That made him continue to having that. So I can understand how people might think that's a plot plot hole or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because how the fuck did Smoke get away from Stack if he didn't have autonomy? You know what I'm saying? He would have to knock a vampire out. I'm not going for knocking the vampire out. So it had to be something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I don't necessarily fault the film because like at the end of the day, like when you bring this much to the table, the table, bro, and this easily could have been a 3-hour movie. Easily. With so much. And I wish it was. Personally, I'm like, I hope we get a director's cut. Give me like 40 more minutes. I would love that. You know what I'm saying?
This is a director's cut because they get a nigga final cut, which is something
that's real shit. Black ownership.
Facts.
Which ties into the movie too, because like we need black ownership, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think fantastic movie, bro. Also, fuck Mary because she was ready to give up all that nigga security, bro, knowing he gonna get hung every which way. You know what I'm saying? Just so she can be with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and she honestly did, even though she did grow up around black people, I think that she didn't honestly respect or she operated in a sense of privilege because she was white passing, and she put Stack in a dangerous position often. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing what like the full weight of that. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck Mary. But, you know,
I feel like Mary acted in the way that she did. And this is gonna sound really wrong or whatever, but whatever. That's the reason I don't really got white friends like that. Because it's not on purpose. It's not. I'm not out here saying I only befriend black people or whatever. But in my experience, and I feel like the summer of 2020 showed us everything we really need to know with, like, you know, the George Floyd protests and all those things and Black Lives Matter. I feel like, you know, in the last 5 years almost, in the last 5 years, I've been shown, you know, I had a couple white friends that were my homies from college and stuff. We no longer speak and we no longer talk, and there was no malicious falling out whatsoever. But like, I realized that going through all of that, they specifically did not understand, like you said, the weight of what this shit is and what this shit means, bro. Like they'll never understand. And as much as one of my homies from college, we don't speak anymore. He was the most in college. Black Lives Matter. I'm here. Fuck Donald Trump. Blah, blah, blah. And it's not like he's a conservative or anything now. As far as I know, he's not. I had to unfriend him on Facebook because he was posting a whole bunch of just homophobic shit that was tied to. He's like super religious now. He's super fucking religious. And he would post every morning at like 6, 7, 8 a.m. He was posting sermons from his favorite pastors.
Religiously,
he was posting sermons, and I'm like, what is this nigga posting? He would post his stuff, and then a lot of the sermons started getting real. He was like really like fundamentally religious, like being homophobic is a sin. You're gonna die. Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, bro, like I feel like if you understand, like if you want to say you understand like the black experience, bro, you can't by principle be homophobic. Like if you want to say you fuck with us, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with me only because I'm straight, or do you fuck with all black people? Yes or no? So it's I feel the Mary thing that just speaks to it. Like there are those blind spots and that implicit bias and all of that. They're going to manifest itself, even though, like at the train station, for instance, I'm sure Mary had zero malicious intent. She was operating. If anything, she was operating out of. She was hurt. Like, where the fuck you been? My mama died yesterday. Like, even in that, bro, you're like, I'm hurt. Fuck you. I'm coming up to, you know, I'm coming up to you and airing my grievances out. No, hey, can we go? Hey, Stack, let's go speak in that alley, or let's go. You know what I'm saying? None of that. She aired his shit out right there, bro. What if a fucking Klan member on the train or something, bro? You know what I'm saying? Now the movie, grand opening, grand closing, the movie ends. Stack get gunned down or hung at the train station. What Delta Slim say? Hung him at the train station. Like, you know, same shit gonna happen to Stack. Just like just little shit like that. Just those blind spots and stuff. And I think Mary was very necessary in this movie. Like, that illustration.
Walking to the door at the thing, like when she walked up to that door, like I remember I was in the theater, like, so why you going? And
it was accurate. I think if you like really like study like the idea of like white passing and what it was, I kind of look at Haley Steinfeld a little different now, because like I'm not about to sit here and say, oh, you do like you got some blackness in you. I'm not saying that, but I see that like like faintly, like I gotta squint my eyes real hard. I can understand if somebody told me you had a half black grandparent. I kind of sort of understand how you would have to operate, because I'm sure her mother probably looked just a little bit more black, and then her grandparents probably looked a little bit more black. So I understand how even if somebody sees her and sees that, oh, that's a white girl, oh, this your kin, this your mom, oh, you're black, because what do white people operate on? One drop. That's one drop. All that. So it's like I can understand. I think her character, Grace and Bo, the Chinese American characters, super necessary, super duper necessary to convey so many points, so much nuance. Like, some people, so much nuance just in those little scenes. Like, people will reference the train station, and they'll, people, of course, on TikTok are talking about how Ryan Coogler freaked out and how Mary's first, you fucked me so good, I forgot her. You know what I'm saying? But like that scene, that was probably like the 5th most important part of that scene in and of itself. Like, people don't know that was a Pullman train. The Pullman train company was the train that would take people back and forth from Mississippi to Chicago. That train being there was Ryan Coogler throwing another Easter egg about that great migration. Chicago, like black people, of course, they would have to sit in, the colored carts in the back of the train, but black people would take, I'm sure that Pullman train was probably what the Smokestack brothers took to Chicago back in 1920, whatever. So that being there was a very that train scene was so much. It was just great. So much nuance in every aspect of the film, and it's just like you can't help but like appreciate. Like, honestly, this conversation, like I like the movie for sure. You know what I'm saying? But like this is honestly just bumped it up another point for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like now I get to sit and talk about it and like really like live in the movie and see the things that I couldn't see the first time. You know what I'm saying? Digest it, bro. And like I said, the movie could be on Broadway, but honestly, this would probably be a fantastic book, to be honest.
For sure.
Fantastic, like a fantastic historical fiction novel, whatever you want to call it, Ryan Coogler, this show shit. But like this would be this is the type of shit where you write a 700-page book. This is the type of shit where you write a 3-book trilogy. And you know what I'm saying? This is the, what I'm saying, where you really like people like my brother Q was yearning for, where did the Native Americans come from? Where is Remick coming from? Like this is the type of book you write where like I love like Game of Thrones, like George R. Martin wrote those books where each chapter was a POV chapter where you're spending one-on-one time with each character, and like a book where we got a stack chapter, a smoke chapter, Mary, Annie, Delta Slim, probably can get him some short little chapters in there. Sammy don't get half the fucking book. You know what I'm saying? Sammy's father could get a little 2-page chapter, just shit like that. Remick, give me 10 Remick chapters. Where the fuck he come from? You know what I'm saying? Ryan Coogler, nigga, give me a play, give me a 5-book series, give me a fucking bro. This is bro, and because he did such a great job with the world building. Like we didn't get the vampires to like an hour in. Like he really made me give a fuck and care about these characters to the point where I know them by name. I could distinguish the twins. That's Smoke. That's Stack. Like this is the type of shit where like, bro, I would love like if Ryan Coogler didn't want to write the book, but of course, based on the movie by Ryan Coogler, like what I'm saying, make sure if whoever write it, Ryan, you better be in the fucking room. Don't let nobody bastardize your shit, nigga.
I think this is the first, like that says a lot because it's usually the other way around. It's like now we have books turn into movies, nigga. He gave us so much. Now let's make a book off it.
I need a book, bro. Like I
read that shit.
I would read the fuck out of it, nigga. Give me a POV book at Ryan from our ears to yours, nigga. Bro, listen. Hop on the phone with me, bro, for free, please. Listen, bro. We can. Nigga, I'll do the audiobook, Ryan. I'll do the audiobook. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded, bro. I'll do the audiobook, bro.
That's fine.
Fuck.
That'd be amazing. And I, man, there's just so much there, man. Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. I had something so fire to compliment that on, nigga. Damn, fuck. Let's go.
It'll come back to you.
Well, man, this was great. It was a great
movie, and I really appreciate y'all coming to to chat about it, man. This has been a phenomenal conversation, man. This has been, insightful. It feels like I'm really on the couch, nigga, and we just all in a circle, nigga, just talking shit, and just like and saying shit. So like,
that's the power of a movie, bro. We couldn't sit here and talk about a Marvel movie in this way. You know what I'm saying? Like we couldn't. Not even. I couldn't even think of off top of my head the only movies where I could probably sit and talk about it for an hour and actually give real dialogue. Like just off top of my head, like Interstellar is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Interstellar.
I'm up there.
I love Interstellar. Shout out Matthew McConaughey. But other than that, bro, I can't like really think like Get Out, of course, Get Out, Us, shit like that. But there's a common theme with all those movies. Christopher Nolan, Jordan Peele, Ryan Coogler, they're directors that give a shit.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to hear that, bro. It's like it's how capitalism kind of erodes the creativity from art because it's just seeking that profit machine, and that ties into like our conversations about Marvel. You know what I'm saying? But like we want original pieces that push the narrative forward, and like we're seeing that being rewarded in a monetary way. You know what I'm saying? But like is that sustainable under the system that we have now?
Yeah, and I think that. And I truly believe, I don't know Ryan Coogler personally. I truly believe that he probably did not give a damn how much this movie made. You know, of course, yes and no. You got to feed your family, feed your kids, of course. Do you think? And he deserves every penny he earned for this because this was magnificent. But like, I think like to the Marvel point, I think that is no coincidence. People try to stone me on Twitter every time I talk about it. One of my favorite Marvel movies is Eternals. An original. It wasn't a Captain America, wasn't a Black Panther, wasn't like a trilogy. Eternals was a movie with like 8 characters that had never been seen on screen before. It had some of the best fighting scenes in Marvel's the MCU history, and it bombed. It fucking flopped. It made now 400 million ain't nothing to sneeze at, but when the movie has a $275 million budget, and in order for it to profit, in order for a movie to profit in Hollywood, because what you don't see, like Sinners has a $90 million budget, but that's not accounting for how much they had to spend on the rollout and marketing. So in order for Sinners to profit, it probably needs to make about $270 million to $300 million, which it will. But like Eternals made $400 million on like a $250 million budget, not even close to profitability. But it's like, whoever directed that and whoever pitched that in the Disney, Marvel, Roundtable Studios or whatever said, yo, we need to tell this story. And I loved Eternals, bro. And we will never see those characters again. We will never get a sequel. We will never get to build on that because it didn't make any fucking money. You know what I'm saying? There's no coincidence that we've gotten 4 Thor movies with the 5th one in production, and only 2 of them are good. You know what I'm saying? And only one of them is great, in my opinion, which is Ragnarok. There's a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no coincidence. It's not lost on me that like motherfuckers say they want realness, they want intentionality, they want. I don't give a fuck how much this makes. Like Ryan Coogler said, I don't give a fuck how much this movie makes. But y'all need to hear this. Y'all need to see this. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why art, you know
that's real. That's what I said at the beginning. Black cinema, real fucking art. You made me feel something. You made me really feel something, bro. So like, I wish the movie is going to be. It's going to be capped. A wall is going to hit the movie profit wise, not because we're not seeing it, but because if you look right now, it's going to its 3rd week. Sinners showtimes have been cut in half. It went from being shown 10 times, 10 times to 5 times. Like I told you, me and my homies going to we're gonna go see it in Charlotte at North Lake Mall. It's only on Friday, Friday or Saturday, the best movie days of the week. Sinners is showing 4 times. At one of the biggest movie theaters in Charlotte, North Carolina, is being shown 4 times. And why is that? Because Thunderbolts gets everything. Like that, you know what I'm saying? So the movie's the movie deserves 500 million. It deserves $1 billion. It deserves $2 billion. It's gonna cap out because it's gonna get its legs cut because we're about to hit Fantastic Four drops in July. You know.
I think it's gonna get a. I think it's gonna get a re-release. I genuinely
I heard that.
Fall,
in the fall, in October.
It needs it, and I think it will benefit. Because I mean, my second viewing was on a Thursday, last Thursday at an IMAX 70mm out here in LA. sold the fuck out. I got the last 2 seats on a Thursday at 12 p.m.
That's
in the
not
middle of the day.
Bro, that's so. I went with my parents last Tuesday. We saw it at 3 p.m. Sold out. That's not real, but that's so crazy. And I wanted to tell you because my dad got attention issues. He don't want to watch nothing that's gonna challenge his thinking. And I was like, let me go at 3. Let's go at 3. Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna be in the theater. I need you to lock the fuck in. Yeah. And it's the theater's packed out. Pack the fuck out. And that's insane. And I wish I could get your experience, bro, David, to see it in 70 millimeter. I am in North Carolina. There's not the closest 70 millimeter, I believe, is in DC, which is 5 hours from me. So it's like, and I haven't seen it in IMAX yet, and I won't get to because the next time I can realistically go see it is Friday, and it leaves IMAX tomorrow. Oh, because movies, they don't release on Fridays, they release on Thursday. And Thunderbolts drops Thursday evening. So all the IMAX.
My wife tomorrow. Then damn,
you gotta go. Yeah, if you want her to see it in IMAX, if you want to see it in IMAX, especially you being in LA where like that shit it lives and breathes, if you want to see it in IMAX, you have to go tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last fucking day to see Sinners in any type of IMAX.
I want to see it again, honestly.
After tomorrow, it's all standard, no IMAX, and whatever theater you're going to, it's going to be cut in half because. We're about to run into, like Josh, you've been talking about like capitalism and the machine. This summer might be the most machine summer we've seen in movies in a while because Thunderbolts this weekend, Fantastic Four in July, Superman in June,
Mission Impossible coming up.
Mission Impossible comes out in May. Like those 4 movies are all going to make $1 billion. Like that is because we're like programmed. Oh, Mission Impossible. Oh, Fantastic Four. And I'm not gonna see a lot of y'all. Me and my wife, we bond over superhero movies. She loves superhero movies. Sure. She loves action. I need to see some shit blow up. I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four. I'm gonna go see Thunderbolts. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that is the, and it's like I said, the Sinners is, and all we're gonna fight back against Variety and all the blogs and shit. Oh, Sinners. The hype didn't live up. It only made $300. No, fuck you, bitch. We were in line to push that bitch. We were gonna give Sinners 50 million more this weekend, but we can't. That's the law of numbers says we realistically cannot. Like as much as we want to go see it, we can't. There's not enough theaters. It's not enough screens. It's not enough seats. We genuinely cannot give it more money this weekend. Like the more money than it's gonna make. Like. But we did a damn good job in those 2 weeks that we had. These 2 weeks was the last time we was free.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect way to go out, man. Fantastic, bro.
We done. That was last time we seen the sun was Easter weekend through April 29th was April 30th. Because it leaves, that's the last time we saw the sun.
If you ain't get it, nigga, you got it, nigga. Goodbye. It's been a Mindful Blerd Podcast. Thank you so much, André White from the History Redacted History Podcast.
There you go.
It's been a pleasure. Pleasure to have you on, bro. I hope to have you on again in the future, man. All love. Thank you so much, man. Any last words? Any last words? I'm gonna give them to you.
Oh shit, bro. Support indie stuff, bro. Support black shit, bro. It costs $0 to go support some black shit, bro. Like if you can't go see the movie, retweet some shit about the movie, go repost in your story. Man, I pray in the future that we can have something else that brings us together in the way that Sinners did for these last 2 weeks, because I enjoyed the hell out of these 2 weeks, truthfully. These 2 weeks, this was our juke joint for 2 weeks, nigga. These 2 weeks was our juke joint, bro. This was it, bro. And Sinners gonna leave theaters. We probably won't see Sinners in theaters after Memorial Day, but that does not mean that we forget how to support something again in this way.
100%. David, any thoughts?
Man, nothing. Same. I think Sinners is. There's a clip of Seth Rogen right now while he's promoting the show, The Studio, and he keeps saying, everybody looks to, everybody thinks that their movie is going to be the thing that changes it. Like the entire industry can change in a weekend. I feel like Sinners was the movie that changes the entire industry in a weekend. It feels like a course correct for the entirety of the movie industry, and I couldn't be more happy and proud to be black, and just it's everything that I never knew that I always wanted. It was phenomenal.
100%. All right, y'all. That's been the Mindful Blerd Podcast, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.